I would put my neck out there to say if Emily was gone, I feel like Gina would be a lot more popular on the show. It's not that she's not unpopular, it's just she's there.
Hi, you guys.
I...
Oh my gosh, these Orange County ladies are.
Can I tell you?
Tell me.
This was kind of a boring episode, but it also made me laugh a lot for some reason.
Yeah. My first comment is I was like, I need to go watch every other season, all 19 prior seasons.
Oh my God, I can give you all the ones to watch.
Because it is so fast paced. I'm like, I am missing so much.
It is actually. So yeah, much. I agree.
So, let's just jump straight to it.
Go for it.
What's up with Emily and Gina? What is the deal? I mean, I'm watching it and sarcastically I say, these bitches have friendship bracelets. And then Heather says something about, I know you have friendship bracelets, and they show them. I was like, they are legit thick as thieves.
Yeah.
But Gina is very possessive. She's very like, that's my friend, back up. And then she's like, well, I'm going to go talk to her. And what's the deal?
Well, they're best friends, and I obviously know that from watching the show. The thing is that caught me off guard. I kind of feel the same way you do, and here's what I think is funny, is I'm trying to figure out even why I feel that way, because I'm also not surprised. I'm like, yeah, they have been best friends. They're like the Bobsy twins of this franchise. Why am I like annoyed in a way, and I don't know why. I'm annoyed at a lot of different things when it comes to, like, I'm also annoyed with Heather of like why she cares all of a sudden, which is like funny because it sounds like Gina and Emily are also wondering like why. And I did kind of agree with them when they were at the dinner and they're like, why do you, like, we've been doing this for 8 years now, like now y'all are saying something. And I agree with that because I'm like, where did this come from? But then I realize I'm finding myself like, why do I care too? All of a sudden. And I don't know what that is. And here's the thing. In general, I don't care about them at all. I don't know how. I've said this last time. I'm going to say it again. I like Gina more than I do Emily. But in general, I don't know how they've lasted on this show for several years at this point. Like, I really don't know. They're not. Gina is a little more compelling. Her storylines are slightly more interesting. She's a Long Island girl. Have a Long Island family, like, so there's that. Like, I do find her more interesting in general, and I think she's funny at times. But in general, like, I don't even know like how they're on the show this long. But they have a very valid point of like, why does anybody care? We've been sharing rooms for 8 years now, and I'm like, yeah, they have. Like, why? I don't know, and I think maybe it's because actually, I don't know. I don't know why I care at all. I don't, but I kind of do for the sake of watching the show.
Well, you care because the producers are making us care.
I know, and I'm trying to figure out why, though.
Been a lot, and I don't know if it's because we're waiting for Orange County to like kind of pick up. Now, I will say this. Most of these shows, it's my first time watching, and I've skipped, 5, 10, 15 years.
Yeah.
But even when Beverly Hills was just kind of boring and it was just kind of like, oh, I played on my phone the whole time watching, these have enough, but I'm just like, maybe they're waiting for the warm-up to really hit and then we're going to get some stuff. Because we've been talking about, you gave a purse to my best friend, and like, they didn't even talk about Playboy as much as they talked about Gina Emily and her being so pissed off. And so we see a picture of them and they just went to Paris together. And now Gina's just like, how dare you talk to anyone that is not me?
Yeah, it is weird. I think as we're seeing, I'm digesting this thought live, as you all are lucky to hear me digesting it in a way, because I was, while watching and processing what I'm watching, I guess I didn't realize while watching, I care about the relationship at all. And I think part of it may be we are 6 episodes in, and it's like really being shoved down our throats. And their friendship really never has been called into any kind of question, I guess. Not that it should be, but it's never been a part of. I think there was one time like early on when because they joined the same year, Gina and Emily, when they joined Orange County, they joined the same season, and they weren't friends prior. So I don't think it was that year. There was like a year like they kind of had like a little bit of a fight, but they also resolved it that same year. And I'm blanking on what it was about, but it was nothing compelling. But other than that, there's never been a question. So like I feel like it's like you have the Carmela dynamic of like, okay, she bought Emily the person dildo. Gina really cares. Why? And then, and we didn't talk about this in the last episode, which I thought was interesting. When they showed a flashback of it in this episode was, I can't remember if it was before or after that confrontation, but when Emily and Heather are having a conversation, and then and Gina tries to interject herself, and she's like speaking, blah, blah, blah. And Emily goes, stay out of it or whatever. She's kind of aggressive to Gina.
I don't need you right now.
I don't need you right now. That's right. And I was like, damn, that was really incredible. So I think that maybe part of it is we're seeing, it's almost like it's being on display, but in different fractions, because you have the Heather piece to it, right? And then, okay, we kind of squashed that, but this episode, it comes back up in a certain sense. Then you have the Carmela aspect. And then Jen even piped in a tiny bit when it came to the room sharing, and Jen was like, yeah, but we don't know what you're doing. Like, it's like, why? I think maybe because I'm thinking to myself, why do any of us care? They're not even that interesting. So maybe that's part of it. And I'm like, wait, why do I care? Oh, wait, because you all are talking about it as if we should care, but they don't do anything interesting anyway. So actually, I really don't give a fuck.
So I love that because you, as the expert, the Housewives historian, and me, I'm just like, okay, wait, I can feel the tension. So clearly I'm like, the producers know they're not friends at the end, or there's something that's coming. But I'm sitting here and I'm like, okay, who else's friendship is ruined if they split? No one. And so I'm like, why do I feel like they care? But I feel like it matters because I'm only 6 episodes in and I've never seen them before. And
also,
like, I don't feel like they're the crux, but also
they're not.
So it's a weird place to watch, and I'm just like, do I need to care that they're close, or do I? Like...
You know why? I think part of it too, and I don't have a word or anything, but if you've watched a few of the franchises at this point, you know, Salt Lake, Beverly Hills, you definitely have a history with Atlanta, and you're watching it currently. You know, there were some relationships of the best friends, if you will, on the show, that when they have a rift, it causes a divide. Portia and Shamia, there's one for you, right? Where it causes either a divide or a fraction in the whole group. To your point, what you just said is if Gina and Emily stop being friends, that does not shift a dynamic on this franchise. They are not like, and that goes to what I'm saying in the sense like they are not, somehow they've lasted 8 whatever seasons, yet they're not, you know, an integral, that's not even a word. They're not integral part of the show at all. You remove them, dynamic doesn't change. They're in it, that dynamic is existing as it is. Like there's nothing, like they don't disrupt the flow of the show. They're just kind of there, but they're like vocally, because it's not like they're background characters. They're very vocal, but there are 2 of those, and like I said, like I see this a lot online. So this is not me just being a bitch, though maybe I am a little bit. That they don't have an effect on the show. Like I can't say that about a lot of women on franchises, where even ones that I might not even like, let's say, but I understand like, oh no, they play an important role on the show, that without them, the show might go on, but it definitely changes the tone. They don't contribute, nor do they make a difference to the tone of the show. Now, if it's, and we have seen this in history, I've talked about it a little bit on our last episode about when we went over episode 2 through 4. Yeah, Shannon and Vicky fight, that changes the whole dynamic. Tamara and Shannon fight, even though it's tiresome, it changes the dynamic of the show. If, God forbid, this season we see again, like we have seen in years past, Vicky and Tamara fight, it changes the energy of the show. I would also probably argue to say, to some extent, if Heather and Tamara have a big, like even them kind of having some tension, I think is more impactful than Gina and Emily. You know what I mean? So I think that's why it's like, I feel like I'm almost in a haze of like, I'm supposed to care about their dynamic, but I'm like, wait, but I don't at all. So I think maybe that's it. It's like a La La Land that I'm
Yeah.
thinking.
Have we ever seen Emily celebrating her birthday before, or is it because she turned
I think
50?
so.
Okay.
Probably, but I'm like, whoop, goes right over my head. Like, who cares?
Okay.
I don't.
All right.
The only thing compelling that I have ever found with Emily that I found also impactful in terms of like, I'm glad that people know about it is her story about her son. I think it helps a lot of people. I think it's bringing a lot of attention to this. I think it's an autoimmune disease. What he has, pandas. I don't know what it stands for because I think it's obviously a long name. But that I think is very like. I like seeing her journey with her son and the dynamic, what it does to a family, like a husband and wife. We're definitely seeing that play out a little bit on the show, I think, right now. Other than that, I'm like, what has she done? Gina has done a few other things. I'm like, if I would be okay if Emily never came back and Gina stayed. I'd be totally fine with that. And in fact, I would put my neck out there to say if Emily was gone, I feel like Gina would be a lot more popular on the show. It's not that she's not unpopular. It's just she's there, if that makes sense. It's not. I feel like she could be pretty standout if she didn't have her. I don't know why that is. I just think it is because she has more spice in her. I think it's the New York thing, the Italian thing. She has flavor, and I don't feel like she's adding enough seasoning. And I definitely think she could if she didn't have Emily. I don't know if that's because she's dragging her down. I don't know, but I don't need Emily. But I think the show could use more Gina.
This is so interesting to me because it sounds like it's all the edits, right? They record a whole bunch of stuff and it depends on what they show us. Because I'm like,
probably.
I know so much about the two of them. I know that Gina got engaged over the break. I know that there's, so I'm like, we have been seeing a lot of them. So, okay.
Now, I'll tell you, I was going to say, I'll tell you what, this might be kind of silly, and I'm going to try to say this because I don't want to sound like a prick, because I actually mean it in a lovingly way. We've been talking about Carmela. I'm liking her more and more and more and more and more that I see her in the show. And I'll tell you, one thing I loved about this episode, because for some reason, I don't know if this is somewhat intentional, I love her diet. We first see her, I don't know.
She eats food.
She eats food, but like good food. So we see her in the beginning.
The burger.
In this episode alone, the beginning of the episode, that burger. Now, I think she said she's going to take the toppings up. I don't care. That burger was thick, had melty cheese.
But everyone else was just sitting there. And she...
Yeah, like little, like, I'm like, oh,
you
eat this.
Yeah.
And I had a big plate of fries. I'm like, love her. The next scene with her boyfriend, they had big-ass slices of pizza and those nothing but kink little buntinis, which I love and obsessed with. And then she orders, I can't remember what she ordered at the restaurant, but it was like a good meal. I'm like, I love you, and I appreciate you, and you're stunning. And her body, when they did the little showgirl dance, I'm like, girl, like she looks good. I was like, wow, like I'm so jealous. I wish I had a body like that. But I'm not trying to judge good or bad about anyone's eating habits. I think that even if you mean that in a positive way, like I'm not trying to point out her eating. I'm just saying I appreciate that she's just not eating lettuce. I'm like, girl, okay, you know good food.
Yeah.
You know, we all know, like, okay, I love going to Taco Bell. Is it actual food? I don't know, but it's fucking amazing. And she's not trying to like, oh, I'm on camera, so let me go just, eat lettuce. And, she's like, no, I'm going to have that fucking, not even like a thin slice of pizza. That was a big ass slice, and I wanted to eat it. Yeah. So I'm obsessed with her.
I know. So you and I are in Ohio, and
she's a Cleveland girl.
I know, and it is a franchise, but I was like, she knows that from Cleveland, because that place was like here for a really long time before they started spreading it out. And I was like, I really like her. I even like that she was able to joke with them at the end. But I was like, Carmela, how long have you owned this restaurant?
I know. It's like
about 2 years.
Well, when they got there, I was like, did that say? I was paying attention, but kind of not. I was like, wait, did that say Carmela?
Well, they don't always show it, or maybe it's that the name doesn't stick out to me. But I was like, is this really hers? And so then when she joked, I was like, oh, it would have been more than 2 years. But I like that she can joke about it. I will say this, though. I like that this cast will call you on some bullshit immediately.
Literally.
I don't mind that. And I think the reason I didn't mind was because this episode was like a conclusion to a lot of it, though.
True.
Like the last 4 episodes were all about the same kind of thing with like side quests with the other cast members, but it was the Gina Emily part was taking a really big portion, or it's like, I heard about this because you said it, and then Heather told me this part, and that. So I think I was happy to be like, new place, new thing, yes. But let's talk about Jen. Okay. Because when they're in Vegas, she's like, oh my gosh, my fiance would be so surprised to see me here and not with our 7 kids. Does she have 7 kids? Does she really? Okay.
But she has a lot of kids, I know that. Yeah.
He doesn't want you to be dressed sexy, or he would just be surprised you. I was trying to like read into it, and I was like, I can tell there's something I'm missing to that. Like, is she church mom and doesn't dress like that? Like, what? I was like, what's the... Okay.
I don't know. That kind of went over my head, I think, because she's a very beautiful woman, and she doesn't dress frumpy. Like her, she doesn't dress frumpy. I'll just put it that way. Well, I'll say this, because I think she was referring to her like ex-husband. Okay. I'm assuming. Okay. Now I've seen from past pictures, and this is a whole thing last season that I never want to hear again because it got so like muddled. I think I've told you, like, last season, it was a bad season for Tamara. She was going through a lot, and therefore, like, as we know, like, when you're in a bad place mentally and emotionally, like, you have a different presence throughout life. So it's unfair to, like, if you are really going through it, like, your best friend might be dying, or they were diagnosed with, they had brain tumors, and they just were... That has such a toll on you that I don't know why people would expect you to navigate daily life as if that's not happening. Knowing like, oh, I know you're going through this emotionally traumatic stuff, but also act the same as always do. That's just not realistic. So with that being said, she went through a lot of stuff. So she had a lot of tension with Jen last season. And she has on and off. But there was like a whole thing where, so Jen, she's obviously stunning, right? But she was a little heavier at one point, and I'm not saying that because I'm just saying what was said on the show and just fact. I'm not saying my opinion. It's just that she looked a little different. She looked just like every other like woman, right? Like there was nothing wrong with it, but like Tamara might have said something a little off-colored in the heat of a moment of just being really irritated with her. Like they referred to like a photo, like Tamara's basically saying that she was trying to copy her, like, okay, you got into fitness because of me, and then she's like, look what you used to look like, and she was just a little fuller, not full figure, but fuller. She said changed her hair to look more like Tamara's. There was like a whole thing about like something like you took my old extensions and put them in your head or something. Like there was a lot of drama. So I think when she was with her ex-husband, she presented a lot differently. So I'm assuming that's where that came from. From the photos that I've seen, I don't think she was always wearing like skimpier clothes or sexier clothes, or I think she was maybe a little more, I don't know if she would describe it this way, but maybe a little more conservatively. So maybe that's why. I think there was a time when like she probably never could imagine like dressing like a showgirl. Yeah. Obviously we didn't know her back then, so who knows, but I'm assuming that's probably what it came. I'm assuming that's what it's coming from. Well,
you guys, if you watch the podcast on YouTube, I always put up GIFs about the characters. Like, if Shannon said something funny, I'm finding an old one. The Emily ones were so surprising because I know, I think in episode 1, when they made such a big deal of all the weight that she had lost, I put up that picture as like a side-by-side, but all of her GIFs are from prior seasons, and it almost looks like it could have been a sibling of hers. She looks very, very different to what she looks like in season 20. So it is fascinating.
It is fascinating. Now, speaking of Jen, though, I'm curious. So at the top of the episode, when they were talking about Carmela is going to hire her, and like Gina was asking a little more about that, and then we get a tad bit more detail, and then Gina and Tamara had a little more to say in their confessionals about it. But do you think that they make a compelling point of, okay, Jen doesn't have, so Carmela's gonna hire her to do what exactly? I think that's the question, right? Yeah. And then I think it was Gina that said, or Tamara's like, she doesn't have a real estate license, she doesn't have her contractors, something. I don't know. I guess I didn't realize you have to have a license for that, but it doesn't surprise me, I guess. But we're getting you automatically into developing. And I think Tamara made kind of a quip. She's like, what are you going to, she's going to, like, the next day, apply to be a developer because she did one job with Carmela. So it does bring up like a valid like. Is she like Gina said? Is she skipping a few steps? Like I think maybe you need to do some other things before she got there. I thought that was. I am for some reason I am pretty intrigued with this because I agree with Gina. Also, she's like, listen, I'm all about like building up other women, helping other women, blah blah blah. But this does feel like. Okay, don't you feel, I don't it is kind of an odd way to start, but then I was thinking to myself, I'm like, well, if I had a friend that's like flipping houses or whatever and I wanted to get into that, I suppose that's what I would do too, right? Like I'm kind of conflicted of how I feel about it. I mean, like I get their point and they're right. I think it was Gina that also said something kind of shady. She's like, well, you got to have capital to do this, and Jen does not have that, which I think I told you last time has been part of her storyline of not having money. And I do think that is actually very valid as well. If anything, that might be the most compelling argument, if you will, of like, you can't really get into this line of work unless you have like money. You know what I mean? Like, and I'm not an expert, but so I am compelled by this whole situation of like, what is her role? It feels very random, if anything. Maybe that's why.
Yeah, I thought it was good. I thought the pettiness of them talking about it afterwards was really funny. And then, of course, I love their confessionals.
Well, those are the best.
When I first watched it, I thought Gina was probably jealous or felt slighted because she's like, I'm in real estate. You never asked me to help you with this. But I don't know the show. And so then I'm listening to our episodes and you told me about Gina and Jen's history and how Gina co-signed some loan for Jen and then Jen didn't repay it and then she owed a whole bunch of stuff. And I was like, so even if Jen asked Gina to help her with a job, Gina probably would have said no. So there's always layers. Like, I think I watched the episode and then I came back and watched it again because the first time I was like, okay, it's funny. But then I re-listened to our conversation and I was like, now I had to look at it with new eyes and was like, no, but they have an existing history. So I don't think that she is trying to get over on Jen.
I don't
But
either.
now I kind of was like, what if Jen is trying to like get over on her because she's the new
You know what? That's a good point.
So I was like, maybe Tamara's comments, while funny, maybe they should be like, be careful, Carmela, you don't know the whole story. So
that's actually a really good point that did not even cross my mind, but makes total sense of like, I think Carmela only has good intentions. Hopefully. I mean, I'm assuming. I think if anything, the more likely scenario is Jen's like, I can do that. Let me take advantage of this situation. And maybe that's like taking her contacts for all we know or something. Like maybe it's something like that. I don't know. I'm not trying to stir up anything, but that seems, if anything, that seems like the more likely scenario. If there was supposed to be something like shady, I would guess that rather than Carmela gets nothing out of it. Of like, you know what I mean? There's no like, and I think I forgot who it was that was trying to say like, okay, well then you're gonna work with her this one job, and then maybe she's gonna try to hit you up for money for another deal or whatever. And I'm like, yeah, but Gina is right. She got no money. So it ain't gonna work. And I will say, just for speaking facts, so what Gina did for Jen in the past, she didn't I think I might have said something along. I was trying to remember. It was hazy in my mind because it's been a while. Jen got evicted from her home, and trying to get another one, Gina referred her. So she used her reputation, to help get her a rental. But Jen then wasn't paying that rent because she claims her husband was supposed to or something like that. So she got kicked out of that, which was a bad look on Gina's part because she basically referred her like, hey, I don't know obviously how that works, or at least in this scenario. Like, I don't know if she's like, hey, my friend needs a home and blah, blah, blah. But she used basically her reputation and kind of her name to like help her out. And so that was the rift that they have, in that argument still stands of like, I don't know if I like, no offense, girl, like I tried this once with you, it didn't work out. I'm not saying you don't grow or evolve, but I think it's safer for our relationship. Like I don't want to, do business with you.
I think that was good that you cleared that up. I just think the whole thing is funny because like, I feel like this conversation with Carmela and Jen was casual, and you guys are asking for a whole reference list and a job description, and I don't think they even got through any of those details. Maybe Jen is going to end up being the administrative assistant for Carmela.
Probably, I mean, she's probably better suited for that.
And we haven't even gotten to it, but I love that like everyone here talks about stuff so openly and they will just call it out. I'm enjoying that because I don't know if there is a bone collector here because I feel like everybody plays their cards as soon as they get them.
At least not yet. I mean, Tamara, like I told you, Tamara normally is, but I think Tamara's trying to be on her best behavior and trying to. We've kind of heard it referred a few times of like, I love this new Tamara. Like, she seems more calmer, this and that. Love that for her. But one of the reasons why a lot of us fall in love with Tamara is like, okay, I need to see some spice with you at some point. I really do hope so. But you're right. Nothing has happened this far where there is anyone that's kind of... It hasn't stalled in any stretch of the imagination so far. I'm enjoying the ride. I'm ready to, okay, let's add a few loops to this roller coaster here now because we can't keep doing this. Now, I will say this too. Right before they went to Las Vegas, I did want to point this out that I also appreciated about Carmela, that she's diabetic, right? God forgive me. God forgive me. And society did this, not anyone that's a diabetic patient. When she started giving herself those shots, I'm like, oh, well, I was like this. I love that she's open about using GLP-1s. And then she goes, and that was my thought. I'm like, which is still, I guess, positive.
They set it up that way, though.
I'm like, they put no you literally, with no context, you see her injecting. Though I probably should have known that because I think typically don't you like inject it around like your stomach area?
That's what we.
I know there's a few places.
We don't know.
That's true. Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
But that was my first thought. I'm like, I love that she's so honest. And then I'm like, but I love comment still stands. I still love her honesty.
Well, that's not terrible on your part because we see her laying out bundt cakes and then she's giving herself a shot in the kitchen.
Yeah, pizza.
So
I just thought it was kind of like she's shooting up her arm with, I don't know if it's Ozem, one of them.
What about the conversation with the guy, though?
Interesting. It was so now we see the guy that cheated on her that she talked about at the drag bingo old lady party. What did you think?
It's very, very individual if cheating is a deal breaker. So
true.
I feel like
that's true. Yeah.
It is for her though because she hasn't forgiven him. So
right.
So
she hasn't. So
her youngest is what? 15, 16?
So. Teenager, I think, yeah.
I don't think it will ruin her life that he is no longer in it.
I don't think so.
So for that, I'm kind of like, I would rather have the mental wellness of not distrusting you and wondering where you are and wondering if you're going to do this again intentionally. But it sounds like that's not the case. So, I mean, I also was pretty judgmental because I was watching. I was like, he cheated? Like, he's not ugly. But I was like, come on. Like, I don't, like, and she seems so nice and stuff. And I'm just like, that's not fair.
Yeah, I don't. Okay, well, my first thought was like, I didn't see any chemistry between the two of them. And I didn't know, but then I was like, let me check myself for a second. Because I was like, is that because she's like, that she still has harboring like emotions towards him cheating on her, which how does that not shift? To your point, I guess, I mean, not everybody, but that can definitely shift the energy. But then the question lies like, why are you still with him then?
I think it's not, or I think it's unfair because her ex-husband, current husband, separated husband, also there was an infidelity thing, and so I don't
has
like
probably a lot of
that's
trauma
being repeated. So I don't. For that reason, I would hope
it's just
that he would find more, but also I can't say what he brings. You know what I mean? We've only seen 5 episodes, and we didn't get too much of her in the first episode, so.
I hope that there's more that comes to this story, at least of her emotional journey with it. Because like I said, like I saw no chemistry between them. I'm like, you could have told me without knowing any history between them. You could have just, I'm watching a TV show, that's it. And you could put it on mute, let's say. I would assume if I had to like feel their energy of this watching them, I'm like, oh, they used to be together and they're broken up, but they co-parent or something. I could have, for all I knew, I'd be like, maybe that's her ex-husband. That was the energy it was giving me. Like, we get along now because we have to co-parent or something. But this guy is not even the father of any of her children. So that's what also makes it kind of odd. But it's giving that kind of energy of like, we're friendly exes.
Yeah.
So there's that.
So this episode was slower because
It was.
the only other notes I have are Heather's mom going to lunch with Heather, Shannon, and Vicky.
So interesting, yeah.
And Shannon hearing a buzz in the room and whether that happens all the time.
You know, this is what I'm talking about with Shannon, is that it's always something like kooky.
Like diva of the group.
No, actually, no, it's just kooky. I'm like, and that used to be endearing, but it's so much. Everything from the falling down, the tripping, like we get it. Like even when they're in their outfits, showgirl dancing, it was funny to me. Cause I'm like, I think Tamara has said it. Like I'm a 58-year-old woman or whatever, and doing this. I can't remember what she said, and I'm like, it was something comical of like all these stunning women of a certain age. In these, it was just comical. That's the whole thing. I loved it, and that's not a criticism. It was funny. And then the whole Shannon stumbling over herself, because I could before that scene, I could have predicted that. I'm like, watch, they're all gonna try to do some sort of choreography, and she's just gonna stumble around because she has, you know, 2 left feet. Like that's her thing, and I'm like, you know, after all these years, girl, I'm just so like I don't care. I don't find it funny anymore because that's all you do every season. You tripping, you falling, you uncoordinated, you trip over your dog's leash, you drop the ice cream. It's, oh my god, we get it now. Like it's a shtick that it's so overdone. So I'm like, I could care less. Though in general, though, I thought that was really funny. The sound, though, it falls in line with that. Of course, you think there's an elevator behind your room. I'm like, I'm pretty sure that's not a thing. Like, I'm pretty sure they'd be soundproofed walls. If it's Caesar's Palace, it's not like you're staying at Motel 6.
Yeah.
You know, and you saw all the, like, Jen, she's like, there's nothing happening. And even Tamara's like, she's a wackadoodle. I will say, though, with that, kind of related to that, because it comes up at the end of the episode, to your point of, like, how all the women, you appreciate them, like, this confronting at the drop of a dime. I do too, but I'm like, damn, does anybody not have a problem with somebody at any given, like, that dinner came and it was just like, Shannon had to confront Gina, okay, and then Shannon had to confront Heather, and it was just like bing bong boom, like everybody. I was just like, oh my god, all of stupid shit though, not even like, yeah, like you talk shit about me. It wasn't anything like that. It was just like, you know, Shannon with Heather's argument was so stupid of like, I just wish I was a part of the conversation for the rooms. I'm like, shut up. You're staying at Caesar's Palace. You all have a great room. Shut up. And then Jen was nice enough to be like, I'm just going to take the fucking room. Because she's a Looney Tune. They think that she's hearing noises in the wall when nothing's happening. And then Heather, God, she's real. This is going to be an interesting season for Heather because she's getting it from all sides. Tamara doesn't trust her social friends. Gina has a problem with Heather saying things about her relationship with Emily. Heather is pissed off with Jen because Jen is inserting her relationship with Tamara and Heather's relationship. So I'm like, damn, Heather is getting it from every angle. And I'm like, this is going to be a very interesting season for Heather, which I kind of suspected because I think it was like interviews leading up to it, like even at the premiere. When they do like silly questions, like who's going to be in the hot seat, this and that, like Heather's name would come up in various different like scenarios of like she's going to be in the hot seat. She's going to have the most to speak to the reunion, like things like that. I'm like, well, that's not a common thing for Heather in Housewives history. So I'm like, this is going to be interesting. But I feel like she kept getting it at all angles. But at that dinner, it was like, okay, hold on, my turn. I got to bring something up of like, I'm pissed off with somebody. I'm like, can you all just eat? Just eat. I'm like, I'm so like, shut up.
Yeah.
I appreciate it, but it was all stupid shit though. I'm like, shut up.
It was.
Who cares?
I think it's funny that you can watch all of the like current stuff and people talking about what'll happen at the reunion and then still watch the show. It's such a spoiler, isn't it?
No, because we don't know it's going to truly happen. It's all prediction. I mean, there is like I mean, you watch a show for 20 years, you're going to pick up like on, like, there is a game to be played here to some extent, right? Like at this point when you join, if you are going to be on Housewives, they all, even the franchises across the board, they're all playing the same game. They're just playing it in different ways. Like you all have the same board game, like meaning the actual board, but like you all make up your own rules of like how like when this one comes on top and how that, you all figure out your own rules to the game, but you all have the same material.
Gotcha.
So after like you can make predictions and kind of guess and like, okay, well this one doesn't seem to go. So into that regard, yeah, but you truly don't know. Like there's always a left turn somewhere. I'm like, oh, I didn't see that one coming. Not always, but a lot of the time. So it's so early that I could be totally wrong. I mean, that could be just like them being salacious. But I feel like usually at the mid-season trailer part is when we'll know, like, okay, this is not going to end well for this person. I feel like we'll have a good grasp by that. We'll have enough information of the season thus far, right? Because it comes right in the middle, and then we'll see a trailer of like what's to come. Though that's at the hands of editing, right? Because of course they'll say something like they'll play a clip of someone saying something dramatic, and it looks like as if it might be directed at someone in particular, just because they show a clip of them right afterwards. But they might not be even saying that to them. Yeah. So it leaves like a mystery of like, oh shit, is she gonna fight with so and so? And it might not even be directed at that person. So I mean, I don't know. It keeps the fun alive. But you know, I speak the language, but doesn't mean I always have the right dialect.
Yeah, I thought it was good. I thought the episode was really funny. I was really starting to hear Gina's accent.
Yeah, it came out a lot this episode. Yeah, it came out a lot. Like even that, I'm like, I know a New York Italian girl, when I see when they use the hands, and she uses her hands a lot, and I'm like, oh, that makes me feel like I'm at home, like in New York. So,
last thing here, every other trip, Gina and Emily always room together. So the fact that it was an issue on this one was just
I don't know. It is. I mean, I hate to have to agree with Emily because I just whatever, but she is right. It's like we've been doing this for 8 years now, and in this particular trip, it's a problem, or you have something to say about it. That is kind of odd. And I think it was Gina that said it too about this is why like it's almost like Gina and Gina and Emily are trying to insert themselves in a lot to. And I'm like, I don't know if it's because it's the 20th season, like they want to like. They're not trying too hard. It's not coming off that way. It's just coming off like, okay, whatever. But they were saying about Heather like not having a buddy or whatever, and I'm like, I was just thinking in years past. I'm like, I mean, I don't know if that's necessarily untrue. I'm like, she's friends with Tamara, she's friends with Shannon, she's friends with Vicky, she's friends with the like OG girls, and I thought that was kind of an odd argument. So it's like I feel like I'm sensing a Gina, Emily versus Heather scenario happening and gonna continue to occur. I don't know why. I mean, I like Heather, so I think she's a great housewife, but I don't know where that's coming from. So the energy I'm not understanding too much. Like I get the Tamara and Heather stuff. That makes sense, the historical friends and whatever, so I get that. But the heat for Heather that they seemingly keep happening is really interesting. I'm curious of where Jen and Heather go from here. And it seems as if they are really trying to create that of like Heather's gonna have no solid like buddy or friend on the show. Like not that she's not gonna have friends, but have like, you know what, you all are bitches, but at least you're my best friend. You know what I mean? Like I'm not like Portia will always have Phaedra. Though it's like we have a group of like Drew, Portia, Angela, and Phaedra, right? Like, that's like the group over there. Like they're solid for the most part. But if Portia gets in a fight with Drew again or Angela, she's got Phaedra. Like they're solid. I don't know if they're trying to do that to Heather, so she doesn't have anyone to fall back on. I don't know, but it feels that way.
Interesting.
But we shall see.
Yeah. Okay, we shall see. We shall see. Yeah, I'm curious to see what else happens in Vegas. So
I know it's kind of funny. I mean, it was fun. It was kind of a boring episode, but I kept laughing at a lot of parts of it for some reason. I'm like, oh, that's funny.
Yeah.
And I'm really tired. And I'll tell you this: I'm really annoyed with Vicky's knee. And if I saw on her Instagram page like a week ago, she still has the same issue. Like she hasn't gotten surgery or anything yet. So she's actively trying to avoid. She said it at one point in this episode that she's trying everything but surgery because she's had so many surgeries. I'm like, get the fucking surgery. Who cares? Get surgery. This is so annoying. You keep wobbling around and clearly in pain. Like she's still like, she literally like took a video from like a few days ago for a doctor's appointment. They put one of those like long shots on her knee. I don't know if it's like cortisone or whatever. But I'm like, just get the fucking surgery. So I don't know, irrationally, I don't care if it is or not, but I'm like, I'm so over the wobbling around in the knee. I'm like, I think mostly because I'm in pain watching it. I'm like, get your, go. If there's a surgery to be had, have it. Have it. You get your face done, do your fucking knee.
Plus, your best friend is Shannon, and both of y'all can't be falling.
Literally. I'm like, you can't lean on her because she'll fall down too.
Literally, you can.
Literally, figuratively, and I guess it's figuratively.
So, you guys, let us know. Did you like the Real Housewives of Orange County, season 20, episode 6? We had a good time chatting about it, and you're right, it was funny. And
and let us know
see what's happening.
And I'm curious, like, wherever you listen to us, YouTube, if you watch, or anywhere else, like, leave us comments, because I am actually, now that I'm in that space, that nostalgic space, 20 years of Housewives, 20 years of Real Housewives of Orange County, and I've been seeing it online here and there. There's people that hate or not liking it. There's people, like, I just saw something, like a little Twitter debate, or not Twitter, Instagram debate, where people were discussing, like, I don't know, how are you saying that you don't like it? It's actually, like, very old school Orange County, and I do agree. I feel like I'm back in 2010, 11, 12. Like, I feel like I'm watching the good days of Real Housewives of Orange County again. It does, as much as, like, there might be people that I don't like on the cast as much as others, it's a flow that it's petty enough where I'm like, this is not dark. Like, the drama on it, it's not dark. It's not, backstab. It's all digestible. It doesn't feel icky. It feels like old school. So I am curious. Let us know in any comments. Email us, I guess, since we have an email. I am curious, are people who are longtime fans of the show, are you liking the season? Because I really want to know. And maybe we can discuss it in the next episode of how people are feeling about season 20.
We need to have an episode about this email address. Because
I'm still like,
you guys, I have a spreadsheet and it has every episode, the date is coming out, the potential guest.
Kyla's very spreadsheety. She's a lawyer by trade, so.
Yeah, but I've sent it to you from, like, that email.
I think I have it somewhere. I definitely, I do remember it. I do have it.
Bye, you guys.